And just like that, cottage is done. We're heading out. Went by super fast, as it always does. Especially 2 days. It's just so quick with all that packing and unpacking and cleaning. But still worth it. Sunny, beautiful. The lake was beautiful. So we're just finishing up here. We're out for a little walk down the drive. Didn't do as much crocheting as I wanted to, but that's okay. I got a little in. And I'll do some of the car ride as well, so that'll be good. And then back to work. So that's it. And we're back. As you can see, we're in the office. It's Monday morning, actually. We got back yesterday afternoon. We had a great time with the cottage. I think I showed a little footage in there. Yeah, weather was great. 2 days goes by way too fast, though, but it was very nice. And now we're back. I'm excited. There was no service up there, self-service. Usually, we don't have Wi-Fi there because that's not the point of the cottage for us. But usually, if you want cell phone service, you can get it. Like, you can upload things or do things. This time, for some reason, there was no service. So I didn't plan that out too well, not so much for the social media stuff, but because I had to upload a YouTube video on Friday, which I've been doing pretty good with. I've been doing great with. I've done 3 Fridays in a row now, so that's my upload day, I guess. But I was like, I can't miss it. So we thankfully, Dante was kind enough. We drove out to town. We found the nearest cell phone tower, I guess, and just kind of sat next to it while it uploaded. And it did say it would take 3 hours, but it actually ended up taking like an hour and a bit. So it actually wasn't too bad. So thankfully that got up. Happy about that video. I'm getting into the flow of like recording, editing, and uploading. It's taken a little bit, but I feel like I'm finally getting into it. One note, I do only want to upload on Fridays just to start, because I know once I commit to 2, then it's like you have to commit to it every week. So for now, I think I commit to 1, and I think if I put up like a tutorial, I'm going to do some other style videos, because a lot of you have requested like amigurumi tutorial, or just like a different style, maybe just me talking about one topic in a video. So I'll post that up on Fridays, and then I won't do a vlog that week probably. I'll probably amalgamate it with the next week, or the next one I do. Just because, like I said, I know YouTube is very like consistent and wants you to upload usually on the same time, the same week, or same day at least, the same amount. So I kind of want to keep it to 1 video for now while I figure things out. Maybe once I get used to everything a little bit more, I can do 2 videos a week, but we will see. I did do a bunch of cute photo shoots. I'll put some pictures here of my amigurumi designs that I have so far, and I brought those with me. So the shelf's a little empty. So let's get our morning started by putting them all back in their homes. Set the camera up. I feel like I'm always like Wilsing myself. I know that might be an old reference where it's like you're just seeing this. Hopefully it's because I can't see, but it's fine. Okay, hi everyone. The shelf is back to normal, as you can see. We're at the desk getting started on our work day. I have some messages I have to get back to. As far as what we're going to do this week, the Etsy shop is slowing down, which is not a concern. I knew that when I launched it, it would be like up high because everyone has interest, and then it goes back down to normal. So I'm not worried about that at all. It just means that I have to start actually, well, I have been marketing, but thinking about what I want to do for the future, products and stuff. So this week's going to be a lot of that. I want to adjust some of my shipping costs for some things. Pattern updates. There are some minor things to some of the digital patterns, nothing like crazy. Like I'm talking like a little bit of spacing and text edits and stuff, like just little things that I want to update. So if you have the patterns, don't even worry about it. But you can update. You can get the update by just re-downloading it. Speaking of updates, the digital journal that I've put out, everyone seems to be really liking it. Like I said in a previous video, I don't get a lot of messages or comments on it. I've got a couple of reviews, which is nice, but I think that's a good sign of people like not having issues with it. So the update I want to do is more because I actually use it. I really enjoy it, even though I made it. I guess that's how good products get made, right? So I want to add some more stickers, more drawing shapes and stuff. I want to maybe a couple more cover pages, maybe another style of page. Just kind of like add little things to it, keep it going. If you've purchased this already and you're like already a version 2, it is completely free. If you've purchased it, there'll be a little update. Should get an announcement, I'm assuming. I'll look into it, but I'll post it here as well, or on my social medias, and you'll get like a little, you just re-download it for free. So it's nothing to be like game changing. It's just like a nice little free update thing. So I want to do that. I also want to look into joining, I think Ravelry or Ribbler, but I think Ravelry. I'm not 100% sold on either yet. Not because I don't want to be on them, I just haven't had time to like actually dedicate to opening them. So I'm going to look into that this week and figure out which or both if I want to be a part of. We have Season of the Stitch, or like Halloween. I'm calling it Season of the Stitch, but Halloween in general, which I was watching a video yesterday and they were like, you should have your products up by August. I was like, oh my god, I'm not ready. I think September is more than fair. If I can get some things out, which I'm sure I could by August, I will. But I'm very excited for Halloween. So a lot of this week will be dedicated to 2, if not 3 patterns for Halloween, crochet patterns. I want to have a bunch of like drawings. I have a new sticker I want to come out that's kind of Halloween, but not really. It's more like, I don't know, more bratty, if you know what I mean. YouTube video ideas. Like I was saying before, I want to do some other video types, so I'm going to write a list of videos that I can do, ideas for them. I have another idea for digital something, not journal per se, but a lot of the comments I got in there were like, what if it did this and this? And I was like, well, that's actually kind of its own thing. So I kind of want to work onto that a little bit, just get that started. A blog site. So a lot of people have like their own site, even if it's not for sales. It just has like these YouTube videos could be linked on there. Anything I talk about will be on there. So I am looking into that. I don't want to spend a ton of money on it though at this point, just because like I am smaller right now. But when I get bigger, it would be nice to have something already going. So I'm going to look into what I can do there. And then just like little things. I want to look into becoming a Hobie affiliate. If you don't know who Hobie is, this is not sponsored, obviously. But I love Hobie. It's kind of like, is it like Europe's Michaels, but better? I don't know. I love them. If you're coming from one of my other platforms, specifically like TikTok, probably you'll know that I love Hobie. I've talked a lot about them. I've sold a lot of their products, not just because I like them. So I want to be looking to how to become an affiliate for them. I don't know what their requirements are, but we'll figure it out. That would be awesome because, like I said, I even though I'm in Canada, I think they're in Denmark, I believe is what it is. I want to go there one day. Anyways, so that's my week. I have other things too. I'm writing some messages right now to some people, some purchases that were made over the weekend. And there's always things that come up. So let's get started with the day. I'm going to make another coffee and we'll get into it. All right, guys, it's much later in the evening. It's still Monday. Lots of admin-y stuff today. I did get a lot done, but it felt like I was constantly hitting a wall. Still fighting with Etsy about trying to get my payment verification. It's been a whole thing, but I won't get into that. I just found I was on YouTube, fun story, and I was replying to some of your lovely comments, and I realized that there was a mentions tab, which I had not noticed before. I usually use the app. I'm using my computer for this, and I clicked on it, and there was a bunch of lovely people who had mentioned me and shouted me out, so I'm getting to those. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but thank you so much. Very appreciated. Lots of lovely people there. And I have to crochet today because I haven't crocheted at all, and it's on my list. I don't need to, I have to. So I'm going to do that. I'll film a little bit of it, maybe not. But yeah, regardless, I'll finish up my day with that, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. I'm just looking at YouTube. We're about to hit, we're at 2,750 subscribers on YouTube. Amazing. We're about to hit 3,000 soon. So that is a really cool achievement. Very excited about that. I just kind of woke up. It's later in the day right now. I just kind of got my day started. We went for a walk. We did all the things. And now I'm just working on some amigurumi. I won't show you too much, but I did get a bunch done, thankfully. I still have more to do. I'm really planning out the Halloween season, which is getting me very excited. And I also have been getting a lot of comments the past couple weeks over just like how people are asking if I did anything, or like just interested in like how this growth happened so quickly. And I want to talk a little bit about it. Most of it, I mean, honestly, was just luck, which I'll get into in a second. But I think if I can teach or help anyone else out there, just kind of, if there's any tips or anything, which I have a little bit. So we'll get into that. I'll leave a timestamp here if you just want to skip over this. You're not a YouTuber or anything. You just want to get back to the cute crochet stuff and the daily vlog. But yeah, I think, like I said, the first thing was luck. I had a lot of wonderful people. I think part of it is like the niche is in the community that I went into, this crochet community and knit community and yarn enthusiasts in general are all very supportive and loving. And everyone left comments and was like amazing, and some people gave me shout outs, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, I think that was a big thing, was like just like having a niche in a community that was already built and coming into that, and everyone was just like welcomed me and was excited to see like a new face. So that was definitely part of it. Like I said, I did have a couple people shout me out. Now I've already forgotten. I know Sara Sach gave me a shout out. Actually, I could probably find them here. I did just find, I think I talked about this before, there's a mentions tab, which I had never seen before. I just found it. So my pink bathtub, there was a Juan mentioned me, Juan the yarn addict, BYC crochet, Desi's crochet. I'm sure there's more if I'm forgetting you, but thank you. That was also a part of it, was people were like sharing it with their followers, people who are already on the app and on YouTube in general. So that was amazing. So those are things that were kind of like out of my control, but you can kind of like pick your niche. And if it has a big community, then there's a good chance that people will interact already with you. But the other thing I think that I did do that would help you, things like lighting. So right now I have 5 lights on, and they're all LED, low electrical, but I think, and I have a window right here. So the light is all facing here. My background's lit up. It's not that it has to be super bright lighting. It just has to be, like, it can be a dim, soft light, but it has to kind of take over the whole room. I think people are more interested in seeing something that's kind of like lit up nicely than like a grainy, pixely video, which also gets me into my next point. I just film on an iPhone, but it does have up to 4K recording, 60 FPS, I think. I'm not super technical, but it is a pretty good camera, so I think that helps. But in modern days, you can usually get these kind of things with most cell phones now. I know not everyone has access to them, but they are more accessible than ever. So I think that's important too, is just having a decent camera so you can get some good quality. I do use a microphone. It plugs into my iPhone. I will leave it in the description in the link because I can't remember what it's called, but it was fairly inexpensive. It just looks like a wire with a little mic on it. I don't want to touch it because then you'll hear a bunch of noise. But as far as like the big ones, which eventually I might get because they are obviously better, but in the interest of just like saving a little money, I just bought this one. Sometimes you see me holding it or it's like clipped onto here. It's like a lapel one. And it works great for me. I think the audio is pretty great. You can let me know otherwise, but I'm very happy with it. Until this channel maybe grows bigger and I actually make money from it, then maybe I'll invest in some of those fancier ones that you see YouTubers use, which is pretty cool. But for now, even my phone, sometimes I just use the phone or like speaker to record things, and that's not great, but it's also not bad. I've never actually heard anyone complaining about it. And then I think the next thing I did, and this is something I already had experience in, was editing. So I think editing your videos is pretty important, obviously, to an extent. I'm new to YouTube, but I'm not new to like video editing. So I've been on TikTok for a couple of years. I've done Instagram Reels and stuff. Before this, I am a graphic designer, web designer, which also comes in with a little bit of animation and just using things like Premiere Pro to like edit videos. So I wasn't completely a stranger to editing. Currently, I do everything on my phone. So I film on my phone and I edit on my phone, which I didn't think would be a thing, but I use CapCut and I actually absolutely love it. It's completely free. There is a pro version if you want more, but the free version does it for me. I honestly have never had any issues like with it. It's super intuitive and easy to use. So not sponsored, obviously, but yeah, I enjoy CapCut a lot. So that's what I use. I kind of dread the day a little bit when I have to move away from the phone maybe and I get a camera. which in some ways I've said is a good thing. I do want like my own separate vlogging camera, so I don't have everything on my phone, just to separate a little bit. However, that means I'll be probably editing on my laptop or something. I could still transfer it to my phone, but I don't know if that makes the most sense. So I don't know if CapCut has a desktop. I'll put something, future Chris will put something here, editing. But yeah, it allows me, it has music, it has sound effects, it has like text and everything, and I just like it. So I use that, and I think that's pretty important, even if it's just like little things like cutting out the dead space. I know I didn't do a perfect job at editing that first video. That was mostly because I looked at that as like, let's just get something up. Nobody's gonna watch it. I was wrong. I think we're at 12,000 views. And I think some of the sound like that I put on the video overtook my voice, but most people seem to be fine with it, be able to push through because they liked the content. But I did get a few comments on that, but I understand too. I watched it back. I was like, oh, that's an issue. So I think I've done a lot better in these past few videos, making sure that if I put music in, it's either just music and no talking, or if it's a little bit of talking, it's very low. But I've become more comfortable with talking in front of a camera, so it's gotten easier. Yeah, but those are the things I think you can do, is good lighting, learn a little bit about editing, set dressing, obviously a little bit, like you can see the yarn, you can see the amigurumi, you come and you're like, oh, that's like, you know what it's about, you know it's crochet, you know it's amigurumi. I have a point of view, like everything's colorful like I am. I love color, whimsical, kind of laid back. I don't want to take anything too seriously. I just want to have fun with all of you, which has been what this has been so far, which is great. Yeah, so those are my kind of tips. I don't know if they help very much. The other thing too is a good thumbnail. I didn't think too much about the thumbnail, to be honest, but I do use Photoshop and Illustrator every day. So I think I made that one and just like Photoshop something together with me on the wall and just put my first video. I think just having some text there to give people some clue of what the video is going to be is really helpful. Sometimes you just see like the thumbnail is just the person like from the video, like the default one. I highly recommend just like, even if you have to download an app or like Canva or something, just something free. There is a layout app. I'll put it here. I can't remember where, which I did use on my last video for the thumbnail because I got caught at the cottage unprepared, but that actually worked out. And it's a pretty decent thumbnail. So yeah, but those are my things that I did for my first video. Obviously, like I said, a lot of it was luck. And now things have kind of evened out. Like everything's still going very well, but I would never expect all my videos to go like crazy off like that. So things have come down to like more, still above wherever I expected to be at this point, to be honest. We are very close to being a YouTube partner, which is crazy. Like I think I'm 1,000 hours away, watch hours, whatever they ask for, like a certain amount. So that's very exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. But hopefully this helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. I try and get back to everyone in the comment section, so leave your questions there. But for now, we have work to do, so let's get back to the video. It's much later in the day, obviously, night, whatever. I feel like I'm working all day, probably because I have. I feel like seeing some of the numbers dip a little bit is like, makes me want to push even more, but really, I'm going to exhaust myself, so finish up for tonight. I'm going to take Safe for a quick walk, then get some sleep, and we'll do it all again tomorrow. And I'll see you there. I'm going to have to measure out the good distance. I'm either up too high or too low. I think this is good. Maybe I'll move back. All right, another day, another dollar. Literally sometimes. No. All right. All right. I'm going to have to mark out on my little tripod thing here what the level is, because sometimes I'm too low, sometimes I'm too high. Hopefully this is just right. Good morning, another day. I've been actually, again, just jumped right into it like yesterday. Yes, I'm wearing the same shirt, I know. But I change out of shirts like 5 times a day, so it's still clean. Yes, so today I kind of blocked out time to do a bunch of reels or whatever, just like content, short form content. Of course, it's the cloudiest day we've had all week, so that's why we have lights, good lighting. So I'm going to film as many of those as I can. I am trying to batch more as opposed to doing what I normally do, which is just kind of film on the go. But it would be nice to have a bunch of things batched up, so that way I don't have to worry about it if I don't have time that day or whatever. So we're going to do that for a little bit. I'm going to take as much time as I can. I made really good progress on my new pattern. I showed a little bit of it. Very excited for this one. I can't wait to start making the little accessories, but I think this will be one of my favorites. In the face, I think it's like my favorite like facial expression. I don't know. They're all very cute. I love my designs, but not to be cocky, but yes, I'm very happy with the way this one's turning out, which is good. And then once I get this one done, I can send it off to my tech editor. Hi, Megan, if you're watching. And then I can start the next one, which I'm also very excited about. And then I think I'm going to do a third one. These are for Halloween, but I think the third one might be free. So I'll keep it a little bit easier. I might even film a YouTube like tutorial on how to do it. So I know a lot of you have asked for tutorials, so that might be a good one. I also want to start filming how to amigurumi series, so we're going to do that at some point. I think that might be up next week. I was thinking about doing it this week, but I think it's just too soon. Like, I don't have enough time. I really want to plan it out. Same with like the YouTube drama, like kind of like commentary, not too serious. Like we've talked about this before, but I want to do a little bit more like research. I don't just want to like go in and just not know what I'm talking about. So that'll take a little bit more time too. Yeah, but besides that, it's gonna be a good day. What else do I got on my list? We're on track to be a star seller on Etsy, so thank you so much for August, the month of August. So that'll be pretty cool. I'm very excited about that. I have to start the blog site. I keep saying that. My problem with the blog site is like I don't want to start paying for a service if it's not gonna like metaphorically pay back. Like I actually would need to make money from it, but I don't know how many people are gonna go there just yet. But I am noticing the more I kind of like have this thing over here and this thing over here, it would be nice to have like one central place where that's all linked, which would be the website. Something asked me for my website too. One of the affiliates, I was like, I don't have one, so I need to get on that. Maybe something free or cheap and expensive, maybe Squarespace for now. And then when I want to start selling, I can move on to like a Shopify or something. We'll see. I am worked in web designs for years, so I could design my own website, but I don't like getting into e-commerce. That's like kind of the beauty of something like Shopify. Now this is sponsored as always, maybe one day. But they do that side, which is very technical and very deep. Like I could design a website that wasn't e-commerce, no problem. Then you're starting to get into deeper, more developer end of things with the e-commerce, which is selling, if you don't know. Yeah, so we're just going to get on with the filming of videos for today, and we'll see where we get. Alright, that was delicious. Hopefully there's none in my beard. But yeah, I just had lunch, and now I'm ready to do a whole lot of nothing. I am ready for bed. Not really, but it is just after 2, and everyone had it all day, so I just posted some stuff to social media. I might just take a minute to myself at the workout, and then I might play some video games. Or I might work on some of my side projects, maybe the temperature blanket or the shirt for Greece, because I haven't touched those the past couple of days. So I don't want to get behind on those, especially the Greece shirt, because that is actually coming up a lot faster. That's like 2 months away, not even now. So I really have to get a move on that. Aside from that, I feel kind of bad that I'm not always crocheting on here. I need to figure out how to share that more with you, because some of the things I'm crocheting, specifically the amigurumi, are not out yet, so they're kind of like a secret. So some things I don't mind like putting in there, which I have, but I'll have to figure out the best way to do that. But yeah, let's get on with our day, see where we get to. Just getting the pet hair off of my tiny little cauldron that I just made. There's pet hair on all my amigurumi, unfortunately. Mostly cypress, but a little bit of Fiji too. That's just a little accessory for the design I'm doing. And I'm working on something else in purple. Halloween colors make me happy. I'm just sitting here crocheting. I'm watching the Hookup, which is the podcast, but also YouTube thing between Crochet Me Daddy, Zach. No, Crochet Me Zaddy, sorry. I got confused with Zach and Daddy. And Jerby Zoo, which is Drew. And they're just chit-chatting, and it's good. It's good to crochet too. Drew was talking about how he has a book coming out, another one. I actually have his first one behind me there. But he has another one coming out, which he wasn't allowed to say too much about. However, I actually know him a little bit, so we talked a little bit, and I found out a little bit about it. So very excited about that. I think it'll be a good one. I don't think it comes out till the fall. But very excited. I would love to have a book one day. Just putting that out there. I even have thought of like just starting to design one, like do the layout. I know that they'd probably want to do a lot of that, but even the patterns, like just do some patterns on the side, and that way if I ever get approached, I might have a couple things already, because when they talk about the process of it, at least in his experience, it was like a lot of like, you got like a month, not even sometimes a couple weeks to come out with this pattern. I think there was like 20 patterns in his, which is a lot of work to do in a couple months. So kind of wild, but I would love to do it, and maybe even self-publish, who knows, we'll see. Yeah, but I'm just gonna crochet a little bit, but yeah, not much else happening tonight. I did try and take a quick nap because I was very tired after dinner, and I like literally put my head on the pillow, and I need to like unplug. We have one of those doorbells that plugs into the wall. I need to unplug it when I go to bed, because like it seems like every time, it was like not even 5 minutes. I just wanted to take like a 15-minute nap. I love a nap. But it was like not even 5 minutes. It was like doorbell rang, I looked at the camera at the front door, and it was immediately like some teenager, some poor kid just like selling, I don't know, some lawn care or something. So does anyone answer those anymore? Does anyone care? Like, we're constantly being sold stuff throughout a whole day. I don't need you coming to my door in the evening. But anyways, it's not his fault, but it was pretty annoying. So I couldn't fall asleep after that. I was awake. So that's fine. I played a little video games. I'm going to crochet a little bit more, and then I'll probably go to bed. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.
I'm not going to fight. I'm just going to give them everything that they're asking for. And so I had to turn it all in. And luckily, we were able to settle to where they took my website, they took my they took my trademarks, they took everything. That's why I'm not even saying the name right now. And basically, the case was closed. And, you know, but I learned from that. And although I was young in this business, it taught me that you don't play. Even though this character was somebody from the 70s, and I wasn't using the full name, they wanted that, and they said it caused confusion in the marketplace because my drawings of my current characters using that first name looked very similar to the iconic characters from the 70s. And so if you have, you know, if you're out there doing stuff, don't do it, because people think, oh, they're not going to come after me, nobody's going to come and get me. That is not true. I was at home with 4 kids and working at home in the other room, just making products out of a bedroom, and I got a infringement letter, a cease and desist, had to hire an attorney, had to pay thousands of dollars just to try to like save a business that wasn't even profitable.
Good morning, everyone. It's a new day, a new angle, and a new me. Hopefully it looks good. There's lots of light coming through, so I kind of wanted to utilize that. I just shared a little clip of a YouTuber that I was just watching. I believe her name is Elisa Lysiak. I'll put her information below. I had never watched her before. She just came up on my recommended feed thing on YouTube, because obviously I'm watching a lot more Etsy shop owners and stuff. Anyways, very interesting video. I'd highly recommend go watch it if you're interested. But the one clip there I was sharing was her experience with copyright infringement and how she learned about it. And this was like years and years ago. I think she said like 15 years or something ago. And how serious it is. And it kind of struck a chord, because you see a lot of that in the crafty community, but specifically now we're seeing a lot of it in the amigurumi community. A lot of people taking things that they should not be taking or do not have the rights to. My personal like kind of background with it, I'm pretty lucky because, like I've said before, I'm a graphic designer, web design. So I went to school for that years ago. So obviously we learn a lot about that, because there's like Google Images and designers taking things that aren't theirs, and you get a lot of trouble. And we've heard a lot of horror stories, people using trademark things that they shouldn't. So that's pretty ingrained into me. And listen, I get it. I love like some of these like things. Like I love Pokemon, obviously. I make them for myself personally. A lot of you have asked me to show you how to make them, or to put out like a pattern or whatever. And for me, for all those reasons she was just saying and more, I don't want to get associated with anything trademarked, even if it's free. It kind of freaks me out, because there's always a way that they can spin it as like you would have to demonetize it. Like if I showed you how to make something and I got paid on some kind of ad or something, then it's almost like I'm getting paid to show you how to make this thing that's trademarked or copywritten. So for me, I decided, like, before launching my shop, like, I'm not going to do any of that. So right now, as of now, I have no trademark. It's all my own, out of my own imagination, which is why I suggest, because like she was saying, it doesn't even have to be an exact thing. Even if you change it a little bit, they will still come after you, especially the bigger guys, like, and they will win, and you could lose your business, your website. You could have to pay back all the money you made, which makes it even less worth it, because you have to now, where you gonna get that money from? You probably didn't save it all, so you could really be in a bad way. So if you get anything from this little rant, please try and be creative. I know it's like, it's impossible to be 100% creative at this point. Like, let's be honest, like, we're too far into the internet and society to have like a completely unique idea. However, you can still make things your own. You can like really work hard to make it as unique as possible. If you're crocheting or crafting, you are a creative person, so I believe in you. You can do it. But yeah, like, everyone learns from each other, and like, I've learned, like, there's a difference between using certain techniques in crochet specifically to create something, and like using a technique to create something that's already been made, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, for this witch's hat, I'm using techniques that I've learned from other amigurumi, other patterns, other things I've learned, but not from a specific hat or a same hat to make the same thing, if that makes sense. So there are ways to do it. But yeah, it's very important and super interesting. We see, and I know I'm not alone here, there are a lot of people with a lot of like accounts, big sales, who are really only selling copyrighted material that they don't have the rights to, which, don't be fooled, if they're still doing it, it doesn't mean that they won't get caught. It just means that they haven't yet. And that just means they're not big. Maybe they'll, like, once they hit their even bigger, they make even more money, that's when these companies will come in and take away everything. So yeah, just learn from what Miss Elisa, I believe, was saying, what I'm saying. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Anyways, rant over. That was just my spiel for the morning. Today I gotta work on this little hat. I have some Etsy stuff to do. I have a bunch of stuff I want to get done. I finally have like kind of a schedule for my Halloween rollout, which is good. I batched, I know it sounds so like automated, but I batched 10 reels yesterday just to have in the background. I like to have like just a couple ones. There's obviously like viral things that happen at the moment that you have to like just go with the fly, you know what I mean. Go with the flow when it happens, but it's also really nice and comforting just to have like some backup when I'm not necessarily feeling it, or that I can schedule just to be posted, because it's a beast. It's all the social media, everything's wants to be fed all the time, so it's good just to have a little backup. Anyways, I'm gonna get started with the day. Let's go for a walk, maybe. We'll see. So I'm in the office now, obviously, but something got posted that I thought was interesting that kind of ties into what I was just talking about, which is kind of funny. The other day I watched a YouTuber named Cat Cake. I'll put everyone in the description. And she posted a very interesting video about, not necessarily copyright, she does talk about that as well, but about how another crochet artist was essentially using a free crochet pattern that someone else had designed. And actually, before I get into this, let's back up. Please never send a hate to anyone. My intent here is not for you to like go and find them and like gang up on them. At the end of the day, we're all learning. This is kind of a learning experience. If any of these people I'm talking about are watching it, I'm not like trying to come for you or anything. I'm just like, it's kind of just observational. These are just my opinions. But yeah, anyways, so she was using, and this crocheter's name is Ashley Peters on YouTube. And she was just using someone else's pattern that was free. And I'll put the name of that person, pattern designer, here somewhere. Can't remember it right off the top of my head. But it was basically a little duck. And what Ashley Peters had done was took that free pattern from a designer and was using it in their markets as like a build your own duck. So she took apart it has a hat and a bag and something else maybe. And she did different colors. People would come in and pick it's a very cute idea. And it did very well. So she figured, well, great. Why not like monetize this a little bit? Made TikToks, they went viral. And then she decided that she was going to make an actual plushie, so not a crochet plushie, like a manufactured one. And she talked about the process of like how much work it was to do that and everything. But the problem, and the problem was that nowhere in these videos, these like viral videos or the ones on her YouTube, was she saying that it was not her pattern. She was saying it like my duck in all the a lot of the videos, and never noted the designer and that it wasn't her. And that's kind of the problem. And what made me bring this up is she just posted an apology video again. This was clearly just a case of like not doing your due diligence, a little bit of ignorance, just not realizing. She wasn't maliciously doing this to like take someone else's design. I think she's just learning as she goes. She is young. I don't think that's always an excuse. I mean, it is kind of, but I know she kind of plays off as like, oh, I'm just a young girl. I don't really care about that as much, but like everyone's learning. We're all learning. So yeah, so it was just like, it seemed as if it was her design. And even though in this case, it wasn't so much copyright or like a legal thing, because in the free pattern, it didn't say anywhere that you couldn't mass produce it, or I don't even know if it said that you couldn't just not like mention them that they were the designer. I'm not sure, but the legality around it was probably a little iffy, but it was more of a moral, ethical thing, because obviously people see this and they go, well, that's not even your design. This is a popular design by someone else who just like took their free pattern and just started boasting it as your own. It's just interesting. So that's also something to watch out for. If you're using someone else's pattern or design, please, please, please always mention them. I'm going to come out with 3 patterns, so if you ever use one of mine, just like do a nice thing. We work hard to make these kind of things, and it's just very important, obviously, because then it kind of gets you in this big mess where like she spent money on this and people are not coming at her, which again is not cool. Let's not do that. She seems very sweet. So anyways, I just thought it was kind of a nice thing to like, or interesting thing to tag on after a talk about copyright. This just kind of all happened within the next, like, I think she just posted that video, but the original one from Cat Cake was a couple days ago, maybe a week ago. Anyways, that's all I have to say on that. Now I'm going to just enjoy my coffee. I just did 2 sales on Etsy, very exciting. And yeah, that's it. So I've been working on this pattern all night. I'm just about to finish up, but then I thought it might be fun to give you a little behind the scenes of what my patterns look like. I obviously can't show you the full thing for free, but I will open the ducky pattern and just kind of give you a behind the scenes of what they look like. I put a lot of time into my patterns, so I'm pretty proud of them. And I use Illustrator, excuse me, to make my patterns. It's just what I'm comfortable with. Photoshop, a little bit InDesign sometimes, but mostly Illustrator. I actually really enjoy it just because now that the layout's done, I kind of just like plug and play as I need to. I do enjoy it. It is a lot of work, but that's fine. I don't mind that part. Yeah, but let me show you a little bit what these look like. Hopefully this records okay. I know it's screen on screen recording. It's kind of weird sometimes, but you have a cover page, obviously, with your cute photo. Dougie's looking all sassy. And then you have kind of a general information, material information, abbreviations, all that kind of good stuff. Then I have a couple pages for the techniques that I use in the pattern, as well as a link for a video tutorial on these techniques if you need it. Some people really enjoy that. And then I'm just going to zoom in here so you can't see the whole pattern. Then you have the general instructions with photos for every part of it. So again, I don't want to give too much away, but you do get things like very detailed photos for every step and instructions, as well as another really cute photo. I usually try and do at least one photo shoot with the amigurumi. Then I'll show you. So over here, again, I don't want to give too much away. I'm just going to zoom in. And this is where my graphic design experience comes in for embroidery and instructions how to sew everything together, final touches, assembly. Just really cute like graphics and stuff to really make it clear and concise. And of course, you can always message me if you have any problems. But so far, people have seemed to really like them, so that's good. Oh my god, it is so warm. Sorry if I look all sweaty and gross. I probably shouldn't be drinking a hot beverage as I say that. Anyways, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone for watching the video. This is the end. I want to get this up before lunch. So if you're still watching this, be sure to comment something maybe cute like Club Crochet or, I don't know, Naughty Bear Crochet or whatever. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I really appreciate it. Like I said, I'm going to finish editing this video, upload it. There's a bunch of stuff I want to do on Etsy. It really never ends. But for this week, I'm going to say goodbye. And thank you to everyone for watching. And until next week, stay naughty, friends. Bye.